conversation about this. I appreciate y'all, but I just want to dance and mind my business. That's all. All right.
Just want to live his best life.
That's all, you know.
Living my best life.
I ain't going back. All right, let's get into this. All right, so we are back for Reading's Finest, and this is where we get to interview a person from the city who is doing some dope shit. And so, can we get like a the man,
the legend,
and the man who gives us what kind of sound?
Chris.
Oh, and it's still going. It's still going. It's still. Oh.
It's always that
Oh
nigga.
shit, that was
Fucking
good.
show off.
The owner of Pagoda City LLC. The man, Jay.
Bang, bang.
Just Jay. No other thing needed. They already know. They don't even gotta know your
You
whole
got
name.
one
Just
I like
Jay.
that.
That's
I
it.
like that.
Right?
I like that. Not even like J-A-Y, just
No,
the
just
letter
J.
J.
Jay,
Yeah.
no, Jay.
J, period.
That's
Yep.
it. That's all.
It's Jason, my nigga. That's it. Let me stop.
You know how black people always got that one white person in the group?
Am I that guy?
Wow.
Yeah, you're that guy for us.
Guess
I
so.
told you he's invited to the cookout. You thought I was joking?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got a plate set up and everything.
I hope you heard that in the mic.
Yeah, we did.
That's love.
I'm all the way here for it.
That's love.
First things first, you know how this goes. You gotta give us a fun fact about yourself.
Fun fact about me. I can proudly say in my lifetime I've earned a black belt.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And what?
Wow.
Oh, deadass?
Yeah.
So every time you hear us say you in the box, there's a parking lot outside, you can
He
actually...
like, ha, 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 ha.
Are your hands like certified?
Well,
Are your hands like certified?
Black belt and what?
Certified.
Are they, like, deadly?
I literally, yeah. Like I got a certificate. I got a
Oh.
black belt. Yeah.
And what?
Tang Sudo. It's like a South Korean
never
style
heard of
of
it.
karate. Yeah.
I'm
well,
scared.
he ain't boxing. He's kicking our ass.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fact. Yep. All right. Yep.
Everybody
All right,
knows
no
how
problem.
to-
Actually, you can come hang out with us. Like, you got something to say? Jason.
Yeah, I enjoyed it up until I got the black belt because when I got the black belt, like stuff started getting real. You know what I mean? Like there was some stuff that they were teaching me. I was like, actually, this ain't cool anymore. So like
You
talk to me
snapping niggas-
sometime after. I'll like show you how to like flip people over and like how to
Thank you.
shatter an ankle. Like I know that stuff. It's, yeah. It was
need
like
to
you know
talk to
what?
you.
I don't know about that anymore. So
You're like a jack of all trades and
was-
shit.
You could have been a spy.
Yeah, that's a
You
fact.
could have been like the next
might
James
be. He could
Bond.
be an
Like,
industry
let's
plant.
go.
He might be.
You're the
Might
reason
be.
Lil Nas X exists. He's the industry plant. We're onto you. We are onto you.
I decided I liked music more, so I got out of that.
I
completely.
understand.
Dope.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Now, because that was actually a really cool fun fact. None of us knew that about you in this room.
Yeah.
Wow.
Try to keep that on the DL.
I see you.
Sometimes
Just
you
in
tell
case you-
people that, and they're like, "Oh, so we should fight sometime."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No."
No.
You
like,
don't wanna
like
do
a
that.
singer, they're like, oh, you should sing for us. No, I don't want to always sing.
Yeah, buy my album.
Right.
But actually, well,
So,
Yeah.
Jay, tell us who you are.
So I am an audio engineer and producer. It's something that I've always known my entire life I wanted to be. So it's cool. Like the older I get, the more I get to say that. Because I mean, I still have a day job. I work in the audiovisual industry. But you know, this city has given me like an amazing opportunity to serve like the talent here, and I'm very proud to be able to say that. Like we offer a space for artists to come and like curate their sound. That's my main passion, is helping artists curate, you know, their talent.
Okay.
Oh, you grabbed the mic like you're about to say something. I tried to
Yeah,
read
I
your
thought
body
she
language,
was.
so I was ready for you to say ask a
nah,
question.
I was
Just a
I was
force of habit.
Oh yeah, I was just fixing my mind.
Oh, here, we have
And
given
Bree
Bree a
calls-
complex.
Bree calls me the gear slut.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Whoa.
So not a question, but a statement. Tell them why I call you the gear slut.
So I'm the gear slut because I am obsessed with gear. It's like an actual like term online, and
Yeah.
there's even a forum online called Gear Sluts.
This is like Gear
with a
Sluts Anonymous.
Z.
The fuck?
.com. Yeah, and it's like, you know, all these people who have this like obsessive problem with like buying gear.
Yeah.
Just like sometimes we buy it just to have it.
Right.
Like I'm constantly looking at like microphones online and like what's the next thing I should get for this space, and it's like all like, you know, I have this wish list that's like literally $750,000. Bless you. So that's why they call me a gear slut, because I'm kind of obsessed.
Yeah,
And where did you get
kind
this?
of. But let's take it all the way back. Let's start where your love of music even happened. Like, where did that start?
Okay. I'll save that one for the plus one, the PS.
Oh, you know what? You got that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll
You in
save-
2030 and we still in 2019.
Yes. Go ahead.
I'll
What's up?
save that for PS. Actually, it's how I fell in love with hip hop. So
Oh,
I love that.
we'll save that.
we're gonna save that one. That's a good one.
But me, like, I knew I wanted to like record music pretty much like the day I started a band. You know, I was in like 9th grade. I'd been playing guitar for about 2 or 3 years.
How long was your hair?
Down his back.
Not as long as this.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the buzz cut back in that day. So
Oh,
I thought it would be longer.
I feel
Me
yeah.
too.
there was a time
Like
when
a
I
teen
was
angsty
trying
phase,
for
you know?
it. Yeah, and I just like
Said, nah, that's not
you
me,
see how
kid.
poofy my hair is now. It was even worse then. So I was like, I kept cutting it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so a friend of mine, best friend ever actually, his name is Aaron. Still talk to him daily. He came up to me because he plays bass, and he was like, "Hey, let's start a band because I know you play guitar." And like, I'm like, dude, I don't really play guitar that well. I don't even know what you're talking about. But he pushed me into it. And, you know, one thing led to another. We start playing shows. We start recording our own stuff. We literally, like, I had stuff in my basement, like old tape decks, old microphones, because my dad used to be a technician for RCA. He would take some broken stuff, bring it home, fix it, and just, like, it would sit in the basement. And so we're in my basement, like, trying to figure out, like, how we can hang microphones from the ceiling. And, like, because we didn't have mic stands and stuff like that. And so, like, we started recording our own demos. And it just, like, it took off from there. We both actually went to the same college to learn how to do this stuff professionally.
Where'd you go to college?
Lebanon Valley.
Nice.
Okay.
It's like Lancaster. It's close to Hershey Park. You know
Okay.
Hershey Park.
I know a couple of my friends go there. What is it, like LVU or something like that?
LVC.
LVC, yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like? That journey of having like, basically your best friend and working together. Like, can you talk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much what pushed me and drove me to like get better, you know, and that's sort of the friendship he and I have. It's like very competitive. So like there were times when, like there was a time in my life I was like 200 pounds, and so I started
Fun
to.
fact.
Don't laugh.
Yeah,
I like.
Bree's low key a fat shamer. Low key.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Disclaimer: no, I am not. I love big people. My dad's a big person. My mom's a big. Actually, no, but my dad's big.
But anyway, like, so there was a time where I wasn't even telling anybody about like how I was like, you know what, I'm done with being like this. I'm going to start exercising, treating myself better. And I just started, you know, running, lifting, and like eating better. And Aaron like noticed, and he was like, dude, I'm not going to be the fat friend in this friendship. And he was like, I'm going to start working out with you. And he was like, so like, that was something we.
Don't tap me.
So
Thick.
yeah, so like it's every aspect of our friendship. It's very competitive like that. So yeah, it definitely like in music, both like playing and with recording, like it was very competitive, even like all throughout college. We ended up being roommates our senior year.
Wow.
That was a good time. Like yeah, we probably partied a little bit too much, but you know.
You
Terrible.
know, it'd be like that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well,
let's-
it'd be like that.
Let's take it forward now a little bit. Was Pagoda City your first big project, or did you have something before Pagoda City that got you into more of like the engineering and audio production?
I would consider college my first big one because there was a studio on campus. But after I graduated, I got an internship. I like moved to New Jersey so I could work out in New York City. I was interning at like a couple different studios and like basically getting any work that I could. My entire time up in New York, I didn't make a dime. Like no joke.
Wow.
Like every bit of audio work I did was for free, just like building my portfolio. And I had like this AV job on the side that was like supplementing, you know, my time there. But yeah, like I ended up moving back to PA because the woman that I ended up marrying, she had just gotten like her first teaching gig here. She grew up here, you know, and so I had brought it up to her. I said, you know, what would you think about moving to New York with me? You know, because I'm thinking about really pursuing this further. She was like, well, I just kind of got this, you know, going here. And she's like, I don't know if I can like take that step right now. So I was like, you know what? I can get an AV job anywhere. I can do music anywhere. I'm going to move to Reading. Screw it. And so, yeah, like I literally had no intention on ever being here. It was just sort of like what happened. And I fell into a couple open mics just to see what was going on. And I fell in love with the talent in this city, like immediately. Like one person that comes to mind is Noah Ayala. Seeing him at like a poetry open mic, I went home that night. I was like, wifey, I was like, I'm going to make millionaires out of this city because like they are all so freaking talented. Like the world doesn't even know about it. So I put together, I went on my Gear Slut thing. I put together this like mobile recording rig and I literally just like put out Craigslist ads. Craigslist, like I will come to your house to record you. I will, you know, meet you at any location to record you. Like if you've got something you want to do, I was charging $10 an hour to do it. Wow. And I got like 3 or 4 people hitting me up to do it. Daniel Egaskiza was the guy that like saw what I was doing and was like, hey, we have a space here. You can like, you know, take a night, just like every night, I think it was Fridays, every Friday night, just like come through. We'll give you a key to the place. I didn't even know who the guy was. And he was just offering this space to me like, beautiful, wow. You know what I mean? Like
very
that,
Daniel of him.
Yeah. Shout out to Daniel. He is the man. And yeah, like that wouldn't have happened in any other city. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have worked in any other city. So, like after I had started working with those couple clients out of Barrio, like word of mouth just started traveling, and I started getting more phone calls, and like I was able to justify building this space. So I wasn't expecting any of this to happen. I wasn't expecting it to grow at all. And I think it's continuing to grow, which, again, was not expected.
For you, it seemed like I won't say your journey was easy, but almost like, because, you know, I'm big on faith. So it seemed like it's just all the key, like, I want to say, what is an analogy that I can use? It just seems like
use the faith one.
Yeah, kismet. If anyone knows what kismet is, it's just perfect timing. Fate. It's fate. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So what are some disadvantages for you? There are some, not disadvantages. What are some obstacles?
Obstacles that I had to overcome.
Yes.
Man.
Did you have any?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just getting the money to get this started was a huge obstacle. I did a really dumb thing. I put a lot of money in like credit cards. And that's something that I still am overcoming is debt. I think like the move from New Jersey to here was definitely an obstacle because I went from a place where like a lot of people knew me. I had built something up there to a place where literally only my wife knew me. And as I run my business here, like I'm coming across more obstacles every day because I mean,
is that because of the growth?
Yeah, this is something that I care about very deeply. And so I will, without hesitation, put 100% of myself into it. And, you know, there is like family that suffers from that. There is like my day job suffers from that. And like even my own mental health suffers from that from time to time. Like I've gotten to the point where like I will be like going through some mental breakdowns just because like I'm putting too much of myself into something. So
is that how
that's been?
See, I have that problem now where I feel like I'm literally pouring myself into what I want to be in my career, but it's also like that drive, that motivation that you have. I feel like that may have helped you become the person that you are and get to where you're at. So what kind of tips do you have, or what kind of advice could you give to anyone who wants to be in the same field as you?
So we're talking about aspiring engineers and stuff like that.
Yes.
Before we do that, can you talk about the difference between a producer and an engineer?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's always like a fascinating thing because sometimes I feel like they get used interchangeably.
Yeah. Well, these days they can be
Yeah.
for sure. They used to be two completely separate entities. So like the producer is the person who is calling the shots in the studio. It's just like I think we should have these sounds. Like let's look at it this way. Like if you are, making a beat, which a lot of producers make beats now. You could say like, yeah, I want that snare to be an 808 snare, or the producer would be the one saying like, no, actually, I like the 909 snare better than the 808. You know what I mean? The producer's making that kind of decision,
They're more like
whereas
a curator.
right, whereas the mixing engineer is taking the instructions from the producer. If the producer says, hey, I want that 909 mixed in there, the engineer's just going to mix that 909
Gotcha.
in. Doesn't have that sort of creative liberty to say, actually, I like the 808 better. I'm going to mix that in there. No, like that's up to the producer. But producers nowadays, I think, need to have that engineer like quality about them because, I mean, money's tight in music. So if we can cut out any middlemen, we should absolutely be doing that.
Right. And now I want to go more let's move into more of Pagoda City and what this actually looks like. So you talked about some of the obstacles and the mental health and stuff, but this is also one of the things that I know like you're super passionate about. So let's just start with like, who's some of your favorite artists that you got to work with so far?
Man, artists that I've personally gotten to work with.
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough question because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Top
There
5.
is a lot.
Top 5.
You know what?
Top five.
You know what?
No.
I don't know if I want to answer that question. I don't
All
want to
right,
make it seem
let-
like I appreciate some artists more than others.
All right, so let's go with this one then.
Make a list.
Yeah, because I do want a list. But let's talk about like what are qualities that you look for within an artist that you would want to produce then? Like
Okay.
Producer and engineer with.
Yeah, so I mean, passion is absolutely number one. That's going to sound cliche, but I mean, there's artists that come through here and their energy is palpable, whether it's I'm in this because I want to get famous and make money. There's a difference between that type of attitude versus somebody who comes in here and is just like, I need to get this off my chest because I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Like you can feel that difference when the person walks in a room. And I love working with the people that are like, let's create something. Not let's make money, not let's get famous. Let's make music. Let's move people. You know what I mean? Like there's like something like I've been thinking like, I feel like music has the power to change a person's heart. And I think a changed heart can change your mind. And I think changed minds change the world.
I like that.
And so that
tattooed
is
on my chest.
Right next
and
to
that is like that like you can feel that vibe when like people come in here to work. You guys have that to me. You know what I mean? Like when you guys come in here, I feel your energy in this room. You know what I mean? Like is very much just like, let's make some progress today. Let's change somebody's perspective today. And that's what I like to look for in an artist. Those are people that I like to work with the most.
That's fine. He just told us we're his favorite artist to work with, basically.
His
I
words,
wanna
not
say
mine, but I'm not
nothing.
disagreeing.
It's okay. We'll take the title.
No big deal.
But I think even something else, because talk about that tension, because I know this is something that's in the public consciousness is like this idea of being creative and making your creative and that like your 9 to 5. So far, like how are you using your 9 to 5 to potentially feel your 5 to 9 essentially? How are you balancing those out? And
I'm not.
yeah.
Not in a healthy way at all. Like I said a little bit earlier, like I had some mental breakdowns that, forced me to take a step back, just be like, how am I going to make this work so that, I'm not pissing off my boss at work. I'm not, leaving my wife at home to like take care of all the housework by herself every
Shout out
day.
to Sarah. That's the homie.
Shout out to Sarah.
She's a real
an
one.
amazing human being. She really is. At the same time, like keeping everybody happy here. You know, like I need to be available for artists to actually get in here and record and make good stuff. So that's something I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's okay. But what I've started doing recently is like I'm giving myself one day to do nothing. Literally just like there is a sharpen the saw kind of day where I can hit the reset button. And because I can't remember a day off that I had since my honeymoon in January.
Wow.
I can't.
Wait, you had a honeymoon? I feel like
You sure did. Where you went? That was our
Sorry.
break.
Yeah, we were good.
That was our. Oh, that was our. You're right. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, we see you. We see you every week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when is?
Sometimes 3 times
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some. And that's why I'm just like, wait, man, you took a honeymoon?
So
And that was, how long ago was that?
1st of January.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that's when it really hit me hardest was like I was thinking to myself, a day off for me is like a day where I work like 4 to 6 hours. That's my new day off. Is like I'm still working. I just have my afternoons off.
You don't even like let your mind relax either. I feel like your mind always is going too.
I have many sleepless nights. Yeah.
Mateo and I know we wake up to all them texts.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Sorry.
It's like no, it's not sorry. It's not inspiration. Like he's like have this idea and this idea and no, like Jay's mind is legitimately always going. I think it's one of the coolest things.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
No, we appreciate you. But I think something else that I think needs to be asked is like, where do you hope? Because I know, well, I don't know if you're making this announcement yet, but just like in terms of expansion for Pagoda City and like, let's say, give us a year and then a 5-year, like where you hope to see it.
I am prepared to make that announcement today, actually.
Is this a Dear Reading exclusive?
Dear Reading
It is a Dear Reading exclusive. So yeah,
Told you we were your favorite.
this will be released. This episode will be released tomorrow, and then after this episode drops, I'm gonna start making those announcements on Twitter, Instagram, the website, all that stuff. But we are hiring staff.
Oh, wow.
We are going to have some engineers and producers on staff, Jeff Cabreja being one of them, Zach DeSantis being another, and there's some other social media stuff probably happening in the future that still needs to be determined. But yeah, there's going to be people here during hours that I cannot be here in order to, what's the word I'm looking for? Accommodate, other artists that can't, fit my schedule,
Right.
because that is very limited.
Since you are now, it seems you are a part of our team, but now you're building your own, which I'm sorry, I just think it's wild. But what is that feeling like? You're now being able to kind of release
And employ. You
Yeah.
created opportunity for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel?
I never thought in my life I would be that. Never wanted to be, honestly. It was just kind of something that there was a need for that in my life. So I mean, having spoken to Jeff about it and Zach, we had a meeting a couple nights ago where I gave them the keys to the space and I told them how everything was going to work. They had to sign contracts and all of that, and they were just so hype. And I didn't even really think about it as an opportunity for them. It was just hey, I need help. Was my main motivation. And seeing the look on Jeff's face, Jeff is a very animated guy. You all know him.
I just came for the donuts.
Shout out to Jeff, man. Great dude. Yeah, it was just wow, this is really cool. I'm it was really fulfilling, knowing that not only am I providing an opportunity for them, but I'm providing more of an opportunity for artists as well. And so, I mean, don't hold me to this within the next year or two, but you mentioned a potential 5-year plan. Why be a studio if you can be a full-on record label? That's what
lit.
I want to bring to this city is
see?
a
Let me
full-fledged
tell
record
you,
label.
because we got the whole team. You got the content people, you got the marketing people, you got photographers in this room, videographers. We got an artist in the room.
Yeah.
A poet?
We got a stylist. You got a whole team.
Hey.
That's it.
Yeah,
We out
exactly.
here.
Yeah, this city has the talent for it.
Yeah.
We absolutely do, and I will freaking die proving that if I have to. The rest of the world needs to know. So if we need a record label to distribute sounds to these other major cities who have no idea, let's do it. You know what I mean? These artists deserve it. These artists deserve the world, 100%.
Yo,
Boss.
yeah. Ball ain't nothing to it. Real one. I mean, on that note, that was a super dope note to just end this part on. But you already know what comes every week. You ready for these rapid fire fucking questions?
Before that, I never answered Bree's question.
Oh.
Which question? Was it?
Like aspiring producers and engineers.
Oh,
Yes.
word.
Read. Like, seriously, there's so much information out there. Like, you know, gearsluts.com.
They need to sponsor this episode. They need to sponsor for Go to City.
I was like 4 times.
No, but seriously, like,
enter that site.
See how much traffic we generate for that site. You're like, we generate this much traffic. Go.
yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions and just like read about, because like the deeper you dive in to like this realm of like making music, the more you find out you just don't know anything. I'm still like, I'm learning stuff. I'm like, that's a thing? I can do that? Like, that's a technique? And, you know, like, just read. Seriously. Don't stop asking questions and don't stop Googling stuff.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready?
I'm ready now.
Are you sure?
I think, actually, I don't think I am, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
how
yeah,
I live
man.
my life.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no choice.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
So who wants to start off with these rapid fire questions?
Favorite purchase
Favorite purchase?
From Gear Slut?
from Gear Slut.
From Gear Slut.
From gearslut.com.
Okay, I was going to say it would have been my wife's engagement ring, but Gear Slut.
Good answer.
The
Happy
microphone.
life, happy wife.
uh,
Other way.
the microphone that Marquise is using. That's my favorite.
The holy one? You got the holy
The
one?
holy mic.
Why
That's
is
my
it
favorite
holy?
Gear Slut purchase.
Oxnard or Ventura?
Oh, why you gotta do me like that?
I needed your take.
Wait, before you guys say that, what was
Anderson
that?
.Paak's album.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
last 2.
got it. Sleeping on it.
I
Might
want
be
to
a
say
little dead.
Oxnard because I had more time with Oxnard.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll come
I just
back to
needed
that
your take.
question.
Yeah, but like, oh my god, like he worked with Smokey Robinson.
Yo,
What?
my guy.
What?
The fact.
150,000? Jasmine
The
Sullivan?
features on that album?
Brandy.
What? Yeah, Brandon. Come on. Like, oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
They're both. Everything Anderson .Paak's ever put out.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I needed your take. I knew you understood.
How many instruments can you play?
Damn.
You gotta count. Goddamn.
No, he's a virtuoso.
6.
6?
Six?
Okay.
I think you lying. There might be more. You including your voice in that one too?
Oh,
7.
vocal.
There you go.
Them vocal cords.
The ones I do not have, clearly.
We know.
Auto-tune. Favorite engineer?
Favorite mixing engineer?
Yeah.
Me.
I like that answer. I like that answer.
NRG. I like that.
I like that answer.
Favorite food.
Favorite food? I gotta say it's either pizza or tacos. It's a tie.
Okay.
Solid.
Pizza or tacos.
Tacos is superior, but it's okay. What's his name?
Yeah, I tend to lean more towards tacos.
If you were to pick up and leave with your wife right now, where would you go?
Good
For how long?
A week.
A week? Well, we are going to Greece, so we just booked that trip literally yesterday. So I guess that's my answer. We're going
It's all
to
right. I'll
Greece.
pack my bags and come too.
See you there.
We
Thanks
all
for the
go
invite.
Their wedding day.
International.
Yeah.
What are some difficulties that you've come across working with artists?
Professionalism.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%. Marquise is looking at me like, I know that so well. Just getting like random emails and stuff, just like, yo, what up? Give me literally it's just
email?
like, yo, what up? And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I answered, hi, my name is Jay. I'm with, I'm an engineer here.
Yeah.
What can I do for you? Like,
Email etiquette is
And-
trash in the city.
yeah, it's just, like punctuality, just like taking your craft seriously. I feel like, that's another thing. That's another reason why I want to make a label, because I'm not just going to be a guy that like hits a record button for somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could be doing so much more for these artists, just teaching them like, yeah, this is studio etiquette. This is what it means to be a musician.
If you could work with I'll give you 3 people that you could work with, musician, anything wise. Who would they be that you would want to, like, your dream team to engineer for or produce?
And all 3 of them are from Reading.
Oh, word?
Oh, let's hear this.
I don't know who they are yet, but
You just
all
know
3
that
of
they're
them are from
coming.
Reading.
Let's go with your celebrity
Talk
ones,
it,
though.
manifest.
All right. Yeah. So, man, so we're talking about artists that are already big.
Yeah.
Like,
Beyonce,
Kendrick.
man.
J. Cole.
John Mayer. That too. I like how we're trying to give you answers for
He's
you.
like, nah,
Yeah.
none of these. I got mine.
Some
back.
like John Mayer would be cool to work with, but like he's got this like egotistical thing about him.
Sure does.
I feel like I couldn't be in a room with him. I love his music. I feel like I couldn't be in a room
Yeah,
with
if you're
him.
gonna say toxic, this is your time to say toxic masculinity, because that's John
John
Mayer.
Mayer ain't never did that to me.
Wow.
Your body is a wonderland.
Barely.
You must be talking to you. Put that thing on.
So John Mayer's body. So,
So yeah, Anderson .Paak is definitely one.
I was waiting for him to say it.
Anderson .Paak. Kendrick Lamar would have to be another one.
My guy.
I said that too.
What about a female? Throw a female in there. Any females?
Remy Ma? No.
I think, man, I love, like, right now, 2 of my favorite female artists are Georgia Smith and
Fire.
Maggie Rogers. I don't know if y'all listen to Maggie Rogers at all. She's, like, on the come up right now. Incredible. I would.
No, but we will research her now.
He did. He did.
Oh God damn. What? So, you talked about how important it is to have mental health days. So, what are you doing? Like, what does a mental health day look like? Or what does a mental health day look like?
That's an interesting question because I don't know yet. I haven't had one of those.
Jay, we're gonna
That
have to
starts
sit
next
down
Sunday.
and talk with you.
So I would imagine just like I need to implement. I need to go on a run on my mental health days. That's something I want to do. I love to run. It's something I haven't done in a very
Put
long
yourself
time.
through that torture.
You're running. That's
It
great.
is
It's
This is why you're
liberating.
thickums.
It is liberating.
mental and physical.
You got that?
That's dope.
Yeah, I went on my first run in a long time this morning.
Oh, wow.
And man, it took me about 3/4 of a mile for me to remember why it is that I like doing it. I'm 3/4 of a mile in. I'm just like, oh my god,
He's like, I'm dreading this.
dying.
Why not do this?
And then like, yeah, you hit your stride, and like you get this like
Runner's
second
high,
wind.
right?
Yeah, and it's like it's really addicting.
Yeah.
So
My friends were all cross-country runners, so they always talk about their running high that they get. And just like, no, I'm kind of high. I don't want.
yeah.
I know. My friend Justina runs 9 miles every morning. She's on her
God
own.
damn.
Jesus fucking Christ.
She's a
Justina.
killer.
No.
The fuck?
And
What's your question?
My question is, what's a must-have vinyl for you?
ooh,
Oh, we
must
coming with-
have vinyl.
That's a fire
Yes.
question.
Man, Gary Clark, Black and Blue, is an incredible vinyl. I own it, and I am overplaying it. Like, I'm ruining that record. Sarah and I both were just like, it's on constant rotation. It's great because it's like recorded analog, and like it's eclectic. Like, it's very much so. It's not just like Gary Clark can do rock and roll. He can do like a hip hop feel. He can do like anything, like bluesy, and like on Black and Blue, he spans the whole spectrum, and he does it really, really well.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Oh, third question, right? Favorite Kendrick Lamar song?
You could at least set an album.
Nah. Nope.
a song.
So I love Money Trees a lot. Money Trees is like
One
a
of my favorites,
vibe.
too.
Man, another one would probably be. I'm thinking of something off of like, Yeah from.
Oh
from
my
Damn.
God, that
I feel like that's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
low
yeah.
key burner, like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
people.
I love
And off
that.
of To Pimp a Butterfly.
This will determine our friendship.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
I ain't gonna say it then. I'll wait until
go ahead.
I'll
No,
wait
I
until
wanna
after
hear.
we stop because I don't want our friendship to potentially end on
No,
air.
I want to hear. It's probably a good one.
And when make sure you zoom in on Marie's face to see her reaction. That's what we need. Like,
No, seriously, what is it?
Man, there's so many good ones on that one. It's tough.
You just had to pick one.
Oh man, what is? I can't even remember the name.
You can sing it.
The Black of the Berry.
That's my favorite song on that album.
Uh oh. What's yours?
She said.
What's yours?
Mine's is Mortal Man.
Mortal Man.
Really?
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
But it's not as aggressive as Black of the Berry, though.
to kick it, my nigga.
You ain't gotta lie.
I don't dance,
You ain't
but
gotta
like
lie.
I would love to just like if somebody played like King Kunta in the club, I would go nuts. Just saying. King Kunta gets honorable mention.
Why didn't you become a DJ?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I already do too much.
He needs a break, guys. A break.
All right.
That would be fun though.
But this is the final question.
Yeah, we can do a question.
What does music mean to you?
Everything. Literally just like
It's like asking.
You know what?
Can you breathe?
everything. It is the air I breathe.
Talk about
He's out here
passion.
poetic and shit. We can't wait. You know, Jay got a couple tracks that we gotta start listening. You know, he had a little bit of a JT vibe going on.
I
at
wanted
some point in
the
time.
PS to be him singing.
I know. Ooh,
No.
we might have to do a double PS.
know.
That's like a. That's
Don't
top
be
tier.
fake.
Don't be fake, Greg. Don't be fake.
PPS or
Right.
PSS. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's someone else too. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
All right. No. Once again, thank you so much.
thank you.
This interview was cool. I remember a couple months ago when they asked you to be on a panel, and you're like, "Yo, I don't speak in front of people. I'm doing this." I'm like, Jay, shut up.
He's about as awkward
It's
as I
been-
am.
Yeah. Huh?
He's as awkward as I am.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Y'all
Yeah.
are some awkward ass
We are.
turtles.
I don't think y'all niggas.
Oh, what's
I
your
don't think y'all
sign?
awkward.
Pump your brakes.
Aquarius.
We
Keep
bangs,
going.
we
fuck
bangs
with
with
you.
you.
I always
Yeah.
get along with Aquarius.
Yeah, Aquarius is
Same.
one of my friendship signs. I really fuck with y'all.
Yeah,
Me
he's
and
not a
Michael
Virgo.
Jordan have the same birthday.
Wow.
Fuck them
Ew.
kids.
No wonder you're so focused. No wonder you're so focused.
But now what we're going to move into is the Dear Reading segment. As you know, this is where we just have an open love letter to the city and we kind of impart any information or advice that we said throughout this episode or that we just want to. So who would like to go first? You obviously are not going first.
Of course.
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Jacqueline! You've been volunteered as tribute.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He said, I don't know her.
Go ahead.
Dayquan Kevin Williams.
I'll go.
Don't do that, bitch.
Wait a minute.
So, dear Reddit.
Big parking lot.
I'm getting Jay on you.
I took Taekwondo.
Can I just say, love thy neighbor?
Oh my God.
Why do you guys want to be like, it's a valid?
Somebody pull her mic.
Jay's in the room, so you can't.
I don't know. The things are right here next to me.
Oh, shit. All right, well.
He said, Johnny's going, you're out? Let him know.
I hate you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, dear Redden, yeah, just follow your passion. Like having Jay on the show and actually being able to interact with him on the regular just makes me really appreciate people who are dedicated to what they love. Like when you see that, when you hear and see someone that lives and breathes their purpose, it's really inspiring. And that's the type of people you need to keep around you. Love thy neighbor.
Appreciate that.
You know what? You got that.
Now.
So talk about loving thy neighbor, Jay, at Pagoda City. We did talk about this episode of thinking about people's motives. Dear Redding, we talked about people's motives when we talk about this stuff, and that was relating back to the iLead conversation. Really stick to your motive, and when you do start moving up in a certain space and acquiring money, don't let that taint what your original motivation was and your initial passion was for something. I think what we do here at Pagoda City, what Jay does with Pagoda City, is allowing a space for people to be heard. He's allowing people to have a voice. He's allowing us to simply be in this space. But I think it's a very inspiring thing when you see him walk in his truth. You see him walk, like Bree said, in his purpose. It's a different kind of energy. There's excitement that he gets every single morning, that excitement that comes into this room, the excitement when we're all in this place collectively. It's a different kind of energy that I think can be extremely contagious and very positive. So thanks for planting the positive seed of Pagoda City here. So that's
Thank you.
Thank you to you.
Thank you.
I thought it was going this way.
Toxic masculinity. No, dear Redding, don't be afraid to take that leap. especially if it's something you love to do. If it's something you love to do, then, you're probably going to, you may take an L, but I mean, sometimes the pros are always going to outweigh the cons. If it's your passion, if it's what you love to do. So yeah, reach for the stars. So if you fall, you land on a cloud.
All right, Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Hater. Dear Redding, don't be scared to just check out the talent. Is what I've noticed, because I remember I wouldn't even want to go and explore Redding, and now that I found amazing people with amazing talents, whether you're a poet, a rapper, an engineer, anything, don't be scared to just check out who's around you.
I second that.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
We're in a room full of look at this collaboration in this room happening right now.
Yeah.
This energy is fire. I would.
Yeah.
Wait, Raylan, can you pan the room really quickly
thank
for
you.
everybody?
Yeah.
Don't forget yourself.
See everybody in here.
I totally just made an amateur mistake here. I look dead into the camera. I hate when I
that's
do
perfectly
that.
fine.
I hate when I do that.
All right. Dear Redding.
Dear Redding, the world needs who you were made to be. And I say that to just anybody who feels like they were called to do something, and just if you're not quite sure how you're going to get there, or if you're not even sure you're cut out for it, if you feel your heart tugging you in a direction, the world needs you to move in that direction, and I encourage you to follow that.
I really fuck with that. That was, man. You're the man. Just another thank you to you.
Thank you. This has been an honor, seriously.
Nah, bro. As soon as you reached out and was like, yo, we need to do something together, for Dear Redding. The fact that Jay came on board, especially after our N-word episode.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of my, he just hit me up. He was like, yo, we got to work. We got to do something.
That was a good episode.